I told you to open up an artboard that's 1920 by 1080, web large, the same document you've opened up a dozen times already, if not more, and then draw a 400 by 400 pixel circle, perfect circle. Have 3 of them. Space them identically, the exact amount of space between the first and second and the second and third. And then place all 3 in the mathematical center vertically and horizontally in this artboard. Could you do it in under a minute? This is the benefit of learning just a few simple tools and steps. So let's start this out, and I'll show you the cheater ways and the way to do this so you're thinking. Okay, so let's get the ellipse tool, and I'm just going to drag something out and then delete it because I don't want to have this preset. We're going to select the ellipse tool and have a black fill and no stroke. Okay? Black fill, no stroke. No stroke. See, right below here, there's none. You click on the stroke and click on none. Now, instead of trying to draw that circle, just click and type 400 and hit tab, 400 and hit tab. Click OK. Now, our object is selected. I'm going to hit V to get my selection tool. And we have a 400 by 400 pixel circle. Cool. Now we need 2 more. We could draw them again. We could come here and click OK. Or I could hit the letter V to get this. I'm going to move this up here, and I'm just going to option drag out a copy. You know, and you saw I've got smart guides on, and the cheater stuff happens. Right away it wants to help. Hey, I'll space these exactly. But the goal is to learn to use the align tools. And when you have more than, well, there's a lot of caveats here, but just play along. And if you haven't done this, back this up. Do it yourself. I want you to do this as well. So now we're going to select all 3 circles at once. And when we do, the control bar gives us not only these options, but then it has this symbol here, and it says Align to Artboard. So if I wanted to move these 2 circles down to the level of this one, and I clicked on this vertical align bottom, it wouldn't go here, it would go down here. Because we have Align to Artboard. I'm going to hit Command Z to undo. To get these 3 to register to this, or these 2 to register to this object, we have to make it what's called a key object. And we have the selection tool. Just click, watch the edge of this. These are already selected. I'm going to click on it one time. Click. And you see this blue circle? This just became the key object. And now this says Align to Key Object. It switched automatically. How did it know? Now, when we vertically align bottom, those other 2 go right to the same baseline as that key object. Cool. Learning the difference between align to the artboard and align to key object and align to selection. Huge, huge. Okay? So right now, I want to click to deselect. I want to get rid of that key object. And we're just going to select those 3. And I want to space these 3 equidistantly using the Align panel. And right now, Align to Artboard is once again selected. So if I align these, if I distribute them horizontally, that's going to move to that side of the artboard. That's going to move to that side, and that's going to move to the center. Don't believe me? Boom. Command Z, undo. I want to distribute these. See these distribute. And I want to distribute based on my selection, not the artboard, not a key object. And now when I distribute, the center one jumps over and perfectly distributes these. Bonus. Now, if we want to align these, I'm going to deselect again so this resets. Now I select these three, and I want to align these perfectly centered vertically. So they're in the center, the mathematical center of this artboard. Now this time, if I have aligned to artboard, that's what I want, and it's going to be okay to align these things vertically. Click. They are now mathematically aligned vertically, but they are not aligned horizontally. This is obviously way closer to the right-hand side. So, what do you think is going to happen based on what we've talked about if I horizontally align this center? Where will these three circles go? Do you have a guess? Was that your guess? I'm going to Command Z to undo that. Now, the problem here is we do want to align to the artboard, but we can't do it individually. We have to group these. Command G, Object Group. Turn these into one object, center them now to the artboard, and now we have these centered, perfectly distributed, and the centering is both vertically and horizontally perfect. Did it take more than a minute? Absolutely, because I was explaining all that. So now you try, and then try again. Start from scratch each time, and see if you can do it in under a minute. Learn the difference between align to artboard, align to selection, and then see how this is grayed out, align to key object? It's because we don't have a key object selected. As soon as we do select a key object, oh, these are grouped. Option Command G or Shift Command G, Object, Group, Object, Ungroup, Shift Command G. Now these are able to be selected, and now we have a key object, and now it actually jumps to align to key object. So powerful, so wonderful, and so misunderstood. Practice with these three simple objects in order to understand how this works, how grouping objects is sometimes the key, and sometimes you have to ungroup them in order to make things work, you know? In order to put these things back where they go, align to selection, bring this down, and then we want to distribute this to the selection, put it back where it went, and it's already dead center because neither one of these two moved. Practice this. You want to learn that align panel. Well, the panel is up here under Window Align, and we will be adding this to our custom workspace because the Align panel, which does appear inside properties quite often, is worth its own dedicated space.